All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be getting into a message that has pretty much frustrated a lot of people, especially at the end of everything dealing with a narcissist. You're wondering, why does it seem like they always get away with stuff and they're able to ride off into the sunset and nothing is wrong? Nothing goes wrong for them, and they're able to do what they want to do, hurt people, and that's it. And they get to pick up and go move again, and they don't seem to ever face consequences. So I want to, speak into this and give some clarity. And hopefully it brings a better understanding. So when we get into this and talking about this phenomenon that frustrates and perplexes many of us, and that's why narcissists, which are the masters of manipulation, seem to just glide through life unscathed despite all their egregious behavior, right? They end up leaving a trail of hurt and broken people behind. And yet they often escape accountability and move seamlessly from one person or situation to the next. How does this happen? In the world does this happen? Right? So, first and foremost, the art of illusion. Narcissists are skilled illusionists. They craft an image of themselves that's so compelling that it often obscures their true nature. So, to the world, they may seem charismatic, competent, and even generous. And this persona, at least, is not by accident. It's a carefully curated, structured persona. And narcissists are acutely aware of how they're perceived. And they invest a significant amount of time and energy into cultivating an image that shields them from scrutiny. Think about this. Most of the time, when you've encountered the narcissist, they came off as either confident, successful, charming, kind-hearted, right? And that's to be accepted. But if they were coming off as cruel and deceitful initially, you instantly people would you'd push away. You'd be like, oh no, hell no. Get away from me. I'm not about to deal with you. And this right here, folks, is the very core of it all. Narcissists are aware of their foul nature. They know that they're liars. They know that they're schemers. They know that they're manipulators. They know that they're heartbreakers. They know all of this about themselves. But at the same token, they like that about themselves as well. But they understand that the general population of people would not like that if they knew that about them. So they can never display or show that to you off the bat. So they have to craft a personality that is accepting to the unsuspecting target to be acceptable, to be let in. All right? That altered at least persona is what shields them from scrutiny. Right? It's gonna get them by. And narcissists exploit this bias too. They know that people are more likely to believe a polished facade than a messy, painful truth. And their victims, often reeling from emotional harm, may not present their cases eloquently or persuasively, right? Making it even harder for others to believe them. This is why when you have instances and you've encountered a narcissist, and you're trying to express and explain what they've done to you, people that look around and look at that narc, they're like, they don't see, well, huh? They did all that? Sometimes people could even be around the narcissist acting with these type of acts and behaviors that's unacceptable, and you still have people that accept the narcissist and will disbelieve you even in that situation. Everybody doesn't operate and use critical thinking. And so by feigning remorse or vulnerability, they tap into our natural tendency to give people what? What do I always say? We give people, if you don't know them, you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. All right? And this is especially effective because we as a society value forgiveness and second chances. Narcissists exploit this. And they know that most people are reluctant to see someone as irredeemable. They rely on the fact that others will hesitate to hold them accountable if they display even a hint of regret, whether it's genuine or not. Again, folks, narcissists are cold-blooded calculators. And they will exploit everything they get into. They know they're masters at blending in. So then we have to look at society's enabling role. Excuse me. And another reason narcissists thrive is because society often rewards the very traits that they embody. Narcissistic traits with confidence, ambition, and self promotion are often mistaken for leadership qualities. In the workplace, I know many of you may have encountered or seen it at your workplace. But for example, the narcissist might he'll climb the ranks quick. Not because they're the most qualified, but because they're the loudest voice in the room, and they know how to play the game of finessing and manipulating their way up, putting people against each other and all these other things, creating doubt in others as well. This is what creates a dangerous dynamic where their charm and assertiveness overshadows their harmful behavior. Their colleagues and subordinates who raise concerns against them may quickly be dismissed in a heartbeat. Or they'll be labeled jealous or overly sensitive, as a lot of narcissists try to do you that when you encounter them, right? Where you not encounter, but when you approach them, at least, or when you come at them and you're saying, you did this wrong and you did this to me, and then or you try to check them on something and they'll be like, oh, you're insecure, or you're they'll use that a lot, that you're insecure, when they're doing the very things that is triggering that within a person. All right. And in the meantime, the narcissist continues to advance and accumulate power and influence over others, right? This is a big part of how they get by. It's one of the reasons of how they get by when they're doing these things. No, I can't stress it enough, but unfortunately, the same traits that help them rise are the ones that enable them to exploit and harm others. And narcissists, again, they know this about themselves. They know it. They know what they're doing to you. They've studied, they've practiced, they've done this to many other people. And a key factor that allows narcissists to escape consequences is the silence of the victims, at least, that they've messed over. And this is where narcissistic abuse often leaves people feeling confused, ashamed, and isolated. And people who are unsuspecting targets may question their own perceptions, wondering if they are overreacting or if the abuse was their fault. And this is the self-doubt. The self-doubt that they get is no accident. It's a result of gaslighting, which we've known and talked about for a lot of times. A common tactic that narcissists use to distort the reality and undermine their victim's confidence. Even when the victim is when their victim is certain of their experience, right? They may hesitate to speak out about it. Why? Because narcissists are skilled at discrediting others. They often preemptively, right, smear their victims, portraying them as unstable, vindictive, or unreliable even. Man, if y'all only knew the extent, the degree in which these individuals that we call narcissists operate in, where most people are just, in their downtime, might be watching TV or scrolling through social media. Narcissists are constantly seeking information on how to become a better manipulator, of how to become a better persuader, of how to become less detected. This is what they do 24/7. This is why they're so good. They are not like normal people. And this is why in your circle, if you have one in there, the narcissist is already undermining everything going around, already putting doubt in others about you, right? They're doing this. And you're unaware of it. But they're effective at dismantling and breaking up things and discrediting people. And as a result, many suffer in silence, allowing the narcissist to move on to their next target unchallenged. Narcissists also have a lack of emotional consequence, right? And this is another reason narcissists evade downfall is the fact that emotionally they're detached. They never get emotionally attached to anything. All of your experience with them, everything you were doing with them, they were not engaged emotionally. It was all superficial for them. It was all an act. They never got emotionally attached to anything. And unlike most people who are weighed down by guilt or regret after harming others, narcissists experience little to no remorse at all. As I've always said, they view relationships as transactional, not emotional. And once a relationship no longer serves their needs, they discard it without looking back. And this detachment allows them to move on quickly, leaving their victims behind to deal with all sorts of emotional fallout. It's like a hit and run. Narcissist speeds away without a second of thought, while the victim is left to process the damage. Right? The biggest key here in this message of why they're able to go from person to person to person, and I spoke on it, I'm going to reiterate it a little bit more, that emotional connection, right? When you have a true emotional connection to someone, you don't want to see them hurt. You don't want to do something that would leave them hurt, right? And it would be hard for you to just go away and leave them in a bad situation, leave them torn, leave them depleted, right? It would be extremely hard for someone who is emotionally connected with someone to do them harm. But if you are not emotionally connected, if you are not an empath, you can't feel anything. Interactions with people is not seen as human interaction. People are things to narcissists. They're objects. They're no different than a brush that you may use to brush your hair, a toothbrush. If the toothbrush gets worn out and you need a new one, you throw it away, you go easily buy a new one. You're not even thinking about it, right? You're not thinking, oh, I shouldn't have threw my toothbrush away like that. It's like, no, it didn't work anymore. It didn't serve its purpose. And it's time for a new toothbrush. All right? When things are transactional and when someone only looks at something as a transaction, the benefit is only in the applied use. What can it be used for? If it has no use, it's of no benefit. It serves me no good. What do I care if it's not serving me? Is how a narcissist would see it. All right? That's what happens in transactional situations. That's what happens when, and again, they put on a role so much, quick way. They were demanding and they came on with all these things and they know how to balance it out. They know how to maximize and get the most out of a target, out of a source of supply. They know how to push that supply to where they can get the most out of it. Even if they have to temporarily build you up, give you confidence, which they don't even mean it. If they're telling you how good you've done and all of this stuff, they don't mean it. It's just they know that if I compliment them, if I patronize them and show them admiration, they'll put out more for me. They don't even mean all that stuff that they're saying about you that is speaking well of you. They don't even mean it. But they know if they do it, it promotes you to give back and put out more for them. So they'll say it. But they don't mean it. So they're experts at being able to pull out the greatest amount of service to their targets or from their targets. And people don't see it while you're wrapped up in that whole dynamic. You just don't see it because they know how to turn it on, turn it off. It's a delicate balance that they've mastered. In which there's millions of people who still wouldn't even see it. Even some that have came into the awareness of what narcissism is, because emotional manipulation is a very hard thing to detect if someone is very, very skilled at it. right? Narcissists know how to make it appear as genuine as possible, but it's riddled with ulterior motives. So how can people break this type of cycle? And while it may seem like narcissists have an unfair advantage, we're not powerless. There's some steps you can take to prevent them from continuing their harmful behavior. Educating yourself was one, but educate others. I always say put other people on once you know, if you even suspect you're dealing with a narcissist, immediately make it known to your family members, make it known to your friends, because the narcissist at a certain point is going to try to, contaminate all those relationships. All right. I say another one too, challenging societal norms. You know, we got to rethink the traits that we value in leaders and colleagues and partners, and instead of prioritizing the charisma or self promotion, you know, we got to start elevating qualities like humility, empathy, integrity. These were things that used to get pushed to the forefront in society. The society is a big part of why narcissism is flourishing. All right. Got to hold narcissists accountable. Got to hold them accountable. Once you're done, make sure you're done. And they can know why you're done. I wouldn't confront them and say that you're a narcissist. I found no. But if you've moved on and you're done, you can say exactly why, because you don't have any intentions of dealing with them again. It's a powerful message that you do not subscribe to that type of behavior. So while it may seem like narcissists escape the consequences of their actions, they're truly not thriving, though. Their inability to form genuine connections and their constant need for validation leave them perpetually empty. No matter how much external success they achieve, they're trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction and insecurity. So let us not, to any extent, be fooled by their facade. What you think, here's the thing: to not be yourself is miserable. To have to put on this facade and persona just to get the approval of people, this is what their life becomes. It's a constant chase. They're chasing a high the rest of their lives. That, like I said, that within itself is, yeah, I wouldn't want to trade places and be in their shoes. That's a miserable life to live. Anyway, I'll stop the message here. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Till next time, have a good one. Enjoy yourselves.